us to come around. Better late than never, for all that was lost once again be found. Yeah, baby, it's clear for all to see that 1 and 1 makes 3 perfectly. Better late than never for you and me. Better late than never. Wouldn't you agree? Better late than never. I guess it was simply meant to be. Better late than never for us to come around. Better late than never for all that was lost once again be found. Better late than never for us to come around. Better late than never. I guess it simply was meant to be. And it's clear for all to see. 1 and 1 makes 3 perfectly. Better late than never for you and me. Baby, for you and me. Oh, for you and me. Baby, for you and me.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Testing 1, 2, 3. Now, can you see me? Welcome back to the Ryan Hall, y'all, stream, okay? We're doing a live stream this morning. It is not an emergency, okay? Want to get that out of the way. We're just kind of hanging out. I didn't have time, once again, to edit the video today, so we are going to do the forecast right here live this morning, and then after that, we're going to monitor the situation up here in the Northeast and in the Deep South with our severe weather. And all kinds of stuff like that. We could see a tornado today in southeastern Texas and also extreme southwestern Louisiana. Okay, it's not a tornado outbreak or anything like that, but we do have, we have things happening today. So I'm here. When things are happening in the atmosphere, I'm here. That's what I do. That's my new slogan. When things are happening in the atmosphere, Ryan Hall's here. But anyways, I think it's fun to do these lives every once in a while. I know you guys like the condensed version on the edited videos, and that's always going to be the mainstay. That's going to be the staple here. But every once in a while, when I don't have time to do the edit, we are going to go live. So if you're just now tuning in, or if you're watching this later, right? If you're watching this, let's say, a couple hours after the live stream ends, continue to watch, okay, because the first part of this live stream is going to be a forecast just like I do, in a regular video. So if you want to see that, stick around. It might take me a little bit longer to do it because I can't cut out all the parts where I'm like going to the next model and stuff like that. But we are going to get through it, okay? We are going to forecast the weather here live in front of, what do we got? About 2,000 people. Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's 10 a.m. on the East Coast. We've got cameras out there today because we're live. We're up here in Maine watching some people ice skate, waiting on that snow to come in. And yes, we are going to have the snow come in just a little bit. Also, we've got cameras out here in, I believe this is in Massachusetts, okay, in western Massachusetts. And then also we got Houston, Texas pulled up. And then, of course, we've got another place in Massachusetts, I believe. I forgot. I'm supposed to put the location on the top, but I forgot. I'll give you an exact update on where those are. But the vast majority of them are in the Northeast. This one right here is in Houston, though, because we do have, unfortunately, the chance for severe weather today. Let's start checking that out, okay? Here's a broad view of the entire United States of America. And we got a lot going on, okay? We got snow up here in the Northeast. We got a big cold front coming down with some cooler temperatures on the backside. It's getting warm and muggy over here on the warm sector. For a December 18th morning, it's pretty warm here. It's 55 degrees where I am, and also it's 10 a.m., so that's going to continue to increase as we go on through today. But the further down south and west you go on this warm sector, we do have a lot of energy that's creating thunderstorms, okay? And some of them are going to be severe today in Houston, Texas, okay, all the way down into Sulphur, Louisiana. Everybody in the dark green and yellow there, you got to be weather aware today. Everybody up there in Austin and Bryan, all the way up into Alto and, Center and Henderson areas of Texas. You know what I'm talking about. Some pretty big storms are coming through. These are going to be capable of producing straight line damaging winds, some hail, and of course also that very real potential for the isolated tornado. Once again, not a tornado outbreak, but if I zoom in here, you can really see some of these beans popping up, okay? These little showers popping up ahead of the main line of convection. It's these little things that we've got to watch closely over the next couple of hours to possibly try to rotate a little bit, okay? And then, of course, once they slam into that main line of convection, there's also an additional chance of a tornado possibly popping up inside of the line of storms, okay? So we're not looking for widespread tornadoes today. If you're in Houston, Huntsville, San Antonio, all the way down into Beaumont in southeastern Texas, this is not something you got to be worried about, but we are being extra cautious when we're being weather aware today because that chance is there for some severe weather, okay? As of right now, I don't think there's even a severe thunderstorm watch, okay? And even though some of these storms are really strong right now, we also don't have a severe thunderstorm warning yet, okay? So we're really just watching these things starting to ramp up, and we're going to see them continue to do so as we go forward. So now also we got to get an update up here in the Northeast because it's starting to snow, all right? If you're in Rochester, New York, you got a little bit of snow moving in. Syracuse, you got some snow moving in. All across the I-90 corridor to Albany, you're going to get a real quick, heavy burst of snow here before that warm sector does take over and kind of switch that back over to rain. We talked about this yesterday, that area where rain and snow kind of mix up, it's going to be hard to forecast today. So if you're in Albany, if you're in Boston, for example, there's a good chance you see some snow and some rain today. I still can't tell you how much exactly you're going to see of each, but I do think that the more we go into the future, the more pronounced that warm sector is. Therefore, I think the snow is going to remain a little bit further north than maybe what some of us were originally thinking. But we're going to take a real deep look into all of this now on the weather models. You guys ready for that? Let's go over to the weather models now. This is the part that I usually edit out in the videos. Let me get that set up real quick. We're going to go to the south central portion of the U.S., and then we're going to go over to the composite reflectivity type, and here we go. What time is it? It's 10 a.m., so we'll start at 11. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. If you want to keep up with the date and time, it's always going to be displayed above my head there. We're looking at the NAM 3-kilometer model, and this is the composite reflectivity. So this is what the radar could potentially look like as we go into the future. We're starting off at 10 a.m. Eastern. It shows it as Eastern time because that's where I live. I can't change that. I've tried. So just keep that in mind. It's always going to be an Eastern time up there. And here we go. We've got our big area of showers and thunderstorms that still stretches from just east of San Antonio all the way up into northwestern portions of Louisiana near Shreveport. And then, of course, even some of that heavier rain working into Little Rock, Arkansas. We're going to watch what happens here as we put this into motion. A very, strong line of storms is going to form here, and that's going to advect to the south and east pretty quickly, okay? So by 1 p.m., we're going to start seeing these storms approaching the Houston area. So, right now, when we were looking at the radar, in fact, I'll move the radar above my head so you can see the storms approaching Houston. Right now, what's happening is kind of the line's not moving much, right? It's kind of just sitting there, and it's kind of soaking up all this energy, and you can literally see it there on the radar. You can literally see those storms bubbling up and then literally transforming themselves into the storm up there. That's only going to happen for the next little bit, and then that storm, the line of storms is going to have enough of that, and it's going to boom, it's going to blast down to the south and east. And that's when we think some of the worst straight line damaging wind threat's going to be. Okay, so we're going to work into the Houston area. We're going to have storms in the Houston area by 2 p.m. Eastern. And then also that's going to be moving past Shreveport at this time. Everybody in this general region right here needs to be weather aware today for the slight chance of significant damaging winds, hail, and of course a tornado here and there. We're going to keep pushing this forward. Some storms are going to affect the south central area of Louisiana, but by this time, 5 p.m. today, I think the biggest threat there is going to be, once again, a very isolated chance of a tornado and some damaging winds. The widespread severe weather threat by this time, I think, will be over. And then, of course, as we go later on into the evening and overnight, we are going to have some storms over here in Mississippi. Let's switch our view so you can see that a little bit better. Let's go to the deep south. Yeah, there we go. We're going to have some storms over here in Mississippi and the New Orleans area. Once again, this is lightning, thunder, rain, normal stuff, but more than likely, not much in the way of severe weather at this point. And then, of course, as we go into the early morning hours, it's going to die out quite a bit. Some scattered rain showers will be possible across Alabama and Georgia. That's pretty much it for that right there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up to the northeast and show you about the snow. And everybody that lives down here in this general vicinity, start thinking of questions, okay? If there's something that I didn't touch on, if there's something that you don't understand, after I get done with the forecast, we're going to do a quick Q&A here where I focus on the chat, and then I'll answer all of your questions, okay? So now let's go up to the north and east real quick, and let's start talking about this snow that's moving in. Let's see here. It is currently, about 11 a.m.? That's the next frame that we're going to show. So at 11 a.m., we're still going to be seeing these rain and snow showers moving in according to the NAM 3 kilometer. Now, here's the thing, okay? If I move our radar up and over here and we compare these model runs, currently, I think that the NAM might be a little bit warm biased because according to radar, I don't know if we've got anybody watching in, Binghamton, for example, but according to radar, it's supposed to be all rain there right now. However, according to this model, I should say. However, according to radar, we might have a little bit of snow and mixed precipitation. So if we have anybody in Binghamton watching, let us know what the current conditions are so we can kind of get an idea on how accurate our model is, depicting the initialization or the current, surface conditions out there. Now, let's keep going, though. Let's put this into motion. Heavy snow is going to break out fast here. By 2 p.m., a lot of upstate New York, especially from Albany, points north, a lot of you guys are going to be seeing really, really heavy snow, okay? It's going to be a quick hitting storm, but it's going to hit hard when it does hit. So once again, all the way up into, let's see here, portions of Saratoga Springs, up I-87 to Burlington, over here north of Syracuse up to Kingston. All of you guys can expect some very heavy snow out of this by 2 p.m. today. And, it's probably going to surprise some of you because it hasn't been talked about a lot. But, I mean, it's gonna be pretty heavy snow when it comes down. So make sure you're ready for it. And it's going to put down, not a foot of snow per se for everybody, but a really respectable amount of snow in a short period of time. And then as we push this forward, we still have snow. Now the heavy snow is working into Vermont and New Hampshire and southern portions of Maine. And as you can see, right here, in the middle, this is what I'm calling the battle zone, all right? As of right now, it does look like that battle zone or the area where you go from all snow to, mostly rain or freezing rain or sleet is going to be right there along the, Rochester to Syracuse to Albany to Boston line, okay? That parallel line right there. You guys are going to be back and forth between snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain all day. That's why it's hard to tell you how much snow you're going to get, how much rain you're going to get, because it's going to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. All right. I feel really sorry for your local meteorologists who have to forecast this on TV and stuff. Please don't go after them with pitchforks if they are wrong. This is not an easy, kind of situation to forecast. However, according to the NAM 3 kilometer, it does, we do believe that northern Massachusetts is going to be seeing, a lot of snow to begin with, but then around 5 p.m., it's going to start switching over to sleet and freezing rain. Same thing for the Albany area, same thing for the Syracuse area. So any snow that you do get, you could get 2-3 inches of snow. later on today around 5 p.m. it's probably going to start washing away with the rain. Additionally, everybody that's down here in the mid-Atlantic regions that's watching, and you're like, hey, what about me? Nothing. I mean, really, there's nothing much to say here. It's going to get pretty warm and it's going to rain a little bit. Like, that's it. All the action's happening up here in the extreme northeastern area of the United States. Let's keep pushing it forward, okay? We're going to get another heavy band of snow come through the upstate New York area, once again, north of Albany, north of Saratoga Springs, north of the I-90 corridor, but you guys are going to be getting clobbered with snow at this point. We get that warm bubble coming up to its apex here, where we could be seeing potentially, rain at this time all the way up into the Manchester area of New Hampshire. Okay, so, even though, once again, even if you're in southern New Hampshire or southern portions of Maine here, even though you're starting off as snow, the later we go on into the day and even into the overnight hours, that warm air is going to be trying to advect up there, and it's going to be trying its best to, put down rain instead of snow. Let's keep going forward, okay? So that line holds strong here all the way into midnight, right here, just north of the Massachusetts and Vermont, New Hampshire borders. So, Massachusetts, unfortunately, I think you're going to get a lot of rain to wash that snow away if you like snow. But, everybody up here in the vast majority of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, you are going to be staying snow. And then we do get a final hit of snow there on the backside as that cold air comes down tomorrow morning around 6 a.m. Maybe even some snow showers up here in the mountains of West Virginia as some of that lake moisture actually comes down and brushes up against the mountains. The Appalachian Mountains gets flung up into the atmosphere, condenses, and comes back down as snow. That's actually going to happen a lot this winter, I think, because it's been so warm and the lakes are warm. That warm lake water, when it gets, flung to the south and east and hits those mountains, we get a lot of snow squalls and stuff and lake-enhanced snow. And then once that moves out, basically, man, it's just going to get cold, all right? It's just going to get cold. Let's see here. High temperatures on Sunday are going to be in the 20s for a lot of New York and a lot of, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Even down here into Pennsylvania, 20s and 30s, okay? Even in like actual Long Island, New York City area, we're talking about in the 30s. So that cold air behind the storm is going to be coming down, and it's going to be coming down hard, and it's going to be sticking around for a little while before we see our next temporary warm-up. So that is what that looks like. Let's talk about snow totals, all right? Let's talk about the total snowfall here. Let's see. Once again, this is important that you understand this. This is the total snow in a 10-to-1 ratio. This is how much snow is going to fall, potentially, not necessarily how much is going to stick, all right? There is some, it does account for some melting and some mixing and stuff like that, but there's some places, especially right here on the border of this line right here, that are going to see 2 inches of snow and then immediately see that 2 inches of snow go away. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here. But if we kind of take a look and see who's going to see what, Rochester, you could see up to 2 inches of snow. But you're in another one of those places where a lot of that snow might be washed away by rain. Syracuse, same thing, 2 or 3 inches of snow, but it probably won't stick around very long. Now, Albany, New York, I think that you guys also have a very real chance of seeing around 2 inches of snow that will eventually get washed away by the rain. Now, over here in the Boston region, okay, so if you're in Boston, especially if you're in downtown Boston, you're going to get just a little skiff of snow. I think your best chance of seeing snow is going to be on the backside on Sunday morning after that comes through, but a lot of rain for you guys. But the crazy thing is just if you go a little bit further north up to Beverly and Portsmouth, you guys have a much better chance of seeing 1 or 2 inches of snow. Even in Portsmouth to Portland, okay, Portsmouth to Portland along the 95 and 195 corridor, there's going to be a huge gradient of snow there where Portsmouth could see a couple inches of snow, and then Portland could see a significantly higher amount of snow, maybe even 6 inches of snow or more, and have no rain at all. So that's how tight that line is. We got a similar situation over here in Albany where I think you're going to get a couple of inches of snow, But it's probably very quickly going to be washed away by the rain. Just a couple miles north in Saratoga Springs, you're going to be getting probably 3-4 inches of snow with no rain, and then just a couple miles north of that in Warrensburg, you guys are going to be getting 6 inches of snow or much more, and absolutely no rain. So it's a very tough line to kind of follow. Okay, and then of course I think the sweet spot is going to be up here in northern Vermont and New Hampshire, especially in the higher elevations from Lebanon up to Littleton. Let's see here, all the way up to Newport. I think you guys, there are some people that'll come away with 8 to 12 inches of snow from this. And then, of course, also in western and southwestern Maine, from Rumford all the way down into the Brighton area, you guys are also very likely going to see 3 to 6 inches of snow from this very dynamic and hard to forecast system. And now everybody south of that, okay, New Bedford, New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, all you guys down there in the mid-Atlantic and the southern New England areas, I'm sorry, but you're all rain. It's just going to be a rainy mess for y'all. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense for you guys? Okay, now let's talk about a little bit of the long-range forecast here. Let's go out a little bit further. See if the old Euro model is throwing us a bone on any future chances of any kind of storms, okay? So first of all, we're starting off where we are right now, talking about our current storm. This is what's going to be happening today. Snow up here in the northeast, lots of just general rain and warm air through the Appalachian region, the southeast, all the way up into the mid-Atlantic. And then, of course, we do have our chance for thunderstorms down here in the Texas and Louisiana area. Now, behind this storm is a pretty decent area of cold air. It's going to get pretty cold down here in the upper Midwest, all the way down into the Central Plains, and that cold air is going to advect to the south and east. And then it's going to make room once this dip right here moves this way. It's going to make room for warm air to advect from the southwest. So it's going to get warmer before it gets colder again over here in Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and pretty much everybody in the central portion of the U.S. Additionally, like I've been saying nonstop, it feels like every day. It's going to rain. It's going to rain and it's going to snow up here in Washington, okay? I get a lot of comments and I'm like, I wish you would go more in depth on the weather over here in the Pacific Northwest. And, there's not much more I can say other than it's going to rain and it's going to snow a lot. Like, I'm sorry, it just is. That's all I have to say about it. The next big system is moving in there on Sunday around 1 a.m., bringing more snow and rain up here to the Pacific Northwest, and then it just doesn't stop, okay? The only thing that I can note on here on the West Coast is that every once in a while, this giant area of moisture that just keeps pouring into the West Coast is going to dip down a little bit. Like, for example, here around 1 p.m. on Tuesday, we see that rain and snow move a little bit further south into California. But eventually it's going to come right back up and affect the Pacific Northwest all the way up into British Columbia. Also, around this time, Tuesday, December 21st at 1 p.m., we're going to see this low pressure system form in the Gulf of Mexico, similar to like what you would see with a tropical depression or a tropical storm. And it's going to bring that energy and all that moisture onto land in Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. We are watching this for the potential to see some stronger thunderstorms there in Florida. But as of right now, it's still a little bit too far away to kind of pinpoint exactly who's going to see what. But another thing that we're watching with this storm is this low pressure system is going to try to go up the East Coast. And there is another little piece of energy here that will be bringing, flurries to Minnesota around the Duluth area around 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And if these two systems can kind of work with each other, then we could see a storm form, a traditional nor'easter over here. But the closer we get to the event, and the more the models show this disconnection here, the less likely that is, okay? So as of right now, it does look like a general rainmaker for the southeastern portion of the U.S. and a flurry maker up here in Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont and all these places that just see flurries all year round. Beyond that, we're going to have another ridge move in. I know that a lot of us here in the central portion of the U.S., all the way down into the south and the southeast, I know a lot of us are enjoying the warm air. It has been a remarkably warm winter, well, it's not technically winter yet, but it's been a remarkably warm winter season, the meteorological winter season so far, fall and all that. And it doesn't look like it's going to change necessarily anytime soon, because here we are on December 23rd with another ridge moving in. We're talking about temperatures feeling pretty cozy here in Texas, all the way up into Nebraska and southern portions of South Dakota, even into the upper Midwest and the Ohio Valley and Southeast and Mid-Atlantic regions here. I mean, it's not going to be hot. It's not going to be like a heat wave, but it's going to be comfortable. It's not going to be cold. Next storm system comes in on Christmas Eve here, potentially bringing some snow to the really, really far north areas of Minnesota and, of course, around the Great Lakes there. But we're talking about even seeing rain on Christmas Eve way up here into the UP of Michigan. How sad? How sad is that? I'm always curious how many people that are watching are, despise snow and love snow. It's usually about a 50-50. So let's see it in the chat. Do you love snow or do you hate snow? Let's see it on both TikTok and YouTube here. I want to know what you guys think. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I'm a snow lover. Snow is what got me into meteorology. It's why I'm so, I guess, knowledgeable about it. Buddy, I have completely studied every aspect of winter weather. It's my favorite. It's my favorite, part of the career here. Anyways, it's big time snow going through southern portions of Ontario there, but it's still raining in Toronto on Christmas Day there around 1 a.m. But like I was talking about yesterday, there's this signal for another storm to come through around the Christmas time frame that looks really interesting. We got a 976 low pressure system moving through the Great Lakes region there that is going to try to bring some cold air down. And like I said in the video before, listening to people like me talk about the weather beyond 5 days, I mean, it's just entertainment at that point, okay? Everything that I said about the severe weather today and the snow today and tomorrow and stuff, we can be like, yep, that Ryan knows what he's talking about. Even your local weather people, for the most time, know what they're talking about. But whenever we go really far out into the future, it's kind of like conjecture, okay? And once we get closer, we'll understand more about what's actually happening. But if you know enough about how weather works, especially in North America, you can pick out patterns and you can pick out little signals for storms and stuff. And this is one that I'm watching closely around the Christmas time frame. That is a signal for a storm. I think that there's a very real chance that this could end up being a significant storm with snow and possibly even severe weather again somewhere in the central or eastern portion of the United States. That's all I can say right now. I don't know exactly, where that's going to happen yet, but it's something that we're going to watch as we go closer towards the holiday season there. So that's pretty much what we're looking at right now. And another storm comes in behind that. But I'm telling you guys, this is going to go down as one of the warmest Decembers we've had, even if we do get a big snowstorm towards the end of it. It's incredibly warm. But like I said, I said this before multiple times. Every action or every weather happening that happens in the weather world usually is balanced out by an equal and opposite reaction. So I do think we might be heading into an astonishingly cold January, or at least mid-January into February. So that's something that we'll talk about more as we get later into December. I'll make my January outlook if you guys are interested in that, and we will talk more in depth about all of that. So that's pretty much what we're looking at here. That's the extended forecast. That is that's the dealio right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start looking at the chats, and I'm going to start answering some questions. So let's do that now. By the way, thank you guys. Thank you, Ron, for becoming a member of the channel. And thank you, Jonathan, for that very, very generous super chat. Really do appreciate you there. And thank you, everybody on TikTok who's following. Make sure you follow to get more information about the weather. And, of course, thanks to everybody who's been subscribing. We are at 223,000 subscribers. Absolutely incredible. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now. Chug, chug. Let's see here. Do you think Massachusetts is going to get severe weather? I don't. I don't think Massachusetts has to worry about any severe weather in the near future. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, 220,000. It's insane. It's incredible, actually. Yeah, we gained 110,000 subscribers in the last 28 days. Ryan, can we get you a different water jug? This is usually a different water jug every time you see it. I buy the drink. I literally just buy this off the store shelf, right? And I usually drink a whole one of these a day. Stay hydrated, folks. And I've tried putting it into those fancy water bottles. I've tried it, guys. I own them. I think my wife bought me. I can't believe it's like a $50 water bottle or something. And I just don't get it. Like, it don't make any sense to me. It's harder to deal with because you have to keep refilling it. And I just don't care. Like, I don't care what I drink my water from. So I'm sticking with my plastic jugs. It's easy. I can go to the store and get like 2 or 3 of them and place them in the places that I'm going to be. And bada bing, bada boom. I'm hydrated all day long. Let's see here. Good morning, Amy. Good morning. Let's see. Ryan, what's it going to be like in the slight spot in Houston? It's starting to get cloudy. In Houston, we do have a slight risk of severe weather. I just talked very in depth about the risk of severe weather that we have down here in Houston, but I will touch on it again just in case anybody is just now tuning in. We have a big area of thunderstorms. Nothing severe yet, but these are definitely strong thunderstorms that's building up to the north and west of Houston. And once this line starts moving to the south and east and getting close to the Houston area, especially once it gets into the yellow shaded area there, we have the chance to see some strong winds, straight line damaging winds. We have the chance to see some very heavy rain, of course, maybe some hail, and even a very small chance of some isolated tornadoes today. So this is a general severe weather day, not expecting any historic weather outbreak or anything like that. But if you are in Houston, all the way down to Corpus Christi and all the way up into southwestern portions of Louisiana, please be weather aware today. Have some way of getting warnings because there more than likely will be quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings today as that goes off to the south and east. We do have a view of Houston. That's what it's looking like there. It is pretty cloudy. And you can see that low-lying fog, too. Earlier, when we started the stream, you could barely even see the buildings there. So that fog is, really showing how much moisture is in the air right now. And that's what those storms are feeding off of. All righty. Let's get an update here on what everybody is talking about. Dodge, thank you so much for that. He says, great job. No problem, man. Let's see here. Garrett says, Southwest Louisiana here, kind of worried about tornadoes today over here. I don't want you to be worried. Wait, remember, what's the thing we always say? Don't be scared, be prepared. To be completely honest with you, Garrett, the odds of a tornado happening today in the entire state of Louisiana are low. Okay, it's a lot higher than what it is on a sunny day, of course. You know what I mean? But the odds of a tornado happening today are low. The odds of a tornado happening in your specific hometown, wherever you live, are even lower than that. And then even if a tornado comes through your hometown, the odds of your house or you personally being affected by it are astronomically low. Okay, so I'm not saying all this to kind of get you to disregard what's happening. It's important to be weather aware, but it's also important to not let it make you scared. No point in being scared of it. You have me, you have all kinds of technology. You have so many tools you're way smarter than the weather. You can prepare for it, and even in a worst case scenario where something bad does happen, you can protect yourself. So just make sure you keep those things in mind and just have some way of getting warnings today, and you will be okay, Garrett. Thank you for the support, though. I really do appreciate that. Your thoughts of chances on lake effect in Oswego, New York after the storm blows by? There is a chance of some lake effect and some lake enhanced snow, but it'll be brief. It'll be brief because that northwest flow is only going to last for a little while before that ridge starts coming in. Tyler, wow, Tyler, thank you so much for becoming an official sponsor. Everybody say thank you to Tyler in the chat. The official sponsor tier is the highest tier of support that you can give to the channel. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Tyler. Tyler's also a moderator, so thank you, Tyler, for all of your support. Garrett, I appreciate the kind words, man. You're the best. No, you're the best. You're the best. What about Ohio? Man, Ohio, it's boring over there in Ohio. Let's come over back to the models real quick. And I'll show you what we got going on there in Ohio, and it's not much. So, of course, we are seeing some rain today in Ohio, just general rain. It's going to get pretty cold tonight. If you live in Northeast Ohio, there's a small chance that you're going to get some, lake enhanced or lake effect snow as the storm rolls by. But other than that, it's just going to be cold. It's going to be chilly. And then it's going to get a little bit mild as we go into December 22nd. And then all the way, your next chance of rain isn't until Christmas Eve, where you have a very slight chance of some sprinkles, but it is going to get really warm. And then it's around the Christmas Day time frame where Ohio, I think that's the next time you even have to be even a little bit concerned about the weather, because we do have a pretty strong signal for a big storm coming through, and we don't know how that's going to affect Ohio yet. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll be the first one to let you know about it, okay? Let's see here. Bennington, Vermont, mostly rain or mostly snow today. Where is that? I feel so bad not knowing where these places are. It just depends on where you are in Vermont. If you're not in extreme southern Vermont, you're likely going to be all snow today. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Oof. Putting me on the spot here. In Bennington, Vermont, I think that you will be mostly snow, okay? But there will be a brief period of time where that you do see some rain, okay? So I think that Bennington, I think a total of around 3 to 6 inches of snow is going to fall there. But when all is said and done, you're only going to have a couple inches of slush left, more than likely, because some rain is going to be mixing in. It just really depends on how those temperatures fluctuate throughout the day. I'm sorry I can't give you a more direct answer than that, but I definitely do think as far as time goes, you're going to see more snow falling. It's just that rain, even if it only happens for a little bit, is detrimental to the amount of accumulation that you get. Michael Gilroy, holy smokes, another official sponsor. Wow. Thank you so much, guys. That's a huge deal. That's a big commitment, and everybody say thank you to Michael as well. Also, other than having your name at the top of the end of the videos and stuff, I am eventually going to put all of our official sponsors, even the ones who had, to end their subscription early, I'm going to put you all somewhere on the Storm Seeker. That was part of the deal. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet. And also, it's been broken in the shop. But thank you guys so much for the incredible support. Weather Watcher says, I love this channel, Ryan. Thank you for all you do. No problem, man. This is a dream come true for me. I love doing this. Absolutely no problem at all for me to sit up here and talk about the weather. Let's see here. Is it possible to get lots of snow in January in Massachusetts? Yes. Yeah, I think it's going to be snowing like crazy in January in Massachusetts. A lot of people think that, just because we've seen a warm December, that means that winter is over and it's going to be warm all year. No. It's eventually going to get cold. We're going to see some nor'easters. I think personally, that we're probably going to see another big storm in the Midwest that is more of a snowstorm. Hopefully we don't have any ice, because that can always be a big problem out there. But I think that that's kind of where we're heading. Whenever this big transition happens, when we finally get rid of the really warm air on the East Coast and some of that cold air kind of gets replaced, that transition period is going to take place as a big storm. And I think that's going to happen. I think we're going to see some snow, possibly some ice there, from Oklahoma even all the way up through Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, that region. Possibly even in Ohio too. Let's see here. West Virginia, you're also pretty boring. West Virginia is pretty boring. After this storm goes through, possibly around the early morning hours tomorrow, you're going to have some snow showers on the backside as that colder air comes down into West Virginia. But other than that, similar to Ohio, it's going to be very boring, very dry, very uneventful, potentially for the next several weeks. Nothing to worry about there. Thank you, Ashlyn. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Member of the channel. Bite your tongue. No snowstorms in Illinois. No, no, no. Now, I do control the weather, so it's just going to be left up to a vote. If you're in Illinois, do you want a snowstorm or not? Michigan, you're seeing some, let's see here. Michigan's seeing some snow right now if you're in the northern portion of Michigan. And that cold air is going to stick around for a while. And then once again, it's going to be pretty boring there in Michigan for the next several days until we get into the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day time frame. That's when I think we have the next chance for something happening up there. Whether that's a snowstorm or a rain event or a severe weather event is still up in the air at this point. And that's why you got to subscribe to the channel right now so you can stay up to date with me. Trucker here, Interstate 80 across Wyoming, east into Nebraska, please. Let me see what exactly you're talking about here. You mean Interstate... Gotcha. Okay, I see now. I thought you said Montana at first. Okay, I-80 east into Nebraska. Well, obviously, in the very near future, if you're making this trip today, I don't think you have anything at all to worry about. I think it's actually going to be pretty pleasant. The next time, yeah, I wouldn't worry about anything. It's December 23rd before that moisture from the Pacific Ocean even tries to make it past the Rockies there. Yeah, enjoy your drive today. I think it's all going to be good. Dude, I wish I could build you a mobile command unit with full and mobile Wi-Fi kits so you could run a team of chase vehicles. It's going to happen one day. It's going to happen one day, man. I'm telling you. We love Vince. Vince is our in-house storm chaser right now. We love Vince because he's out there literally. I'm surprised he's not out there today. But usually every single slight risk that's issued, Vince is there. So we like having Vince around. But it is my goal, hopefully, to one day have a team of like 10, maybe even 20 people who are in various locations who what they're out there doing is directly communicating with me, right? So, we can go to anybody in any town and get a live view of what's going on there. That's a while away, okay? But it's okay. What we're doing right now works just fine. Let's see here. I have no ambitions to become the next Weather Channel, 24/7. Higher, I have no plans on like, I just want to expect in severe weather, when in a situation where we have tornadoes on the ground or a hurricane or even a blizzard or something like that. I think that it's vitally important to have those pictures and videos on the ground. And I also think that I'm in a unique position to where I can actually, with your all support, I can actually pay those people to do it. Normally, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a handful of storm chasers who make money, right? You got your Reed Timmers and stuff like that. But the vast majority, there's a lot of people who do it, and there's a lot of people who are really good at it that don't make a dime. In fact, they lose money when they go out there. And I just think that it's crazy that, what they're doing is so vitally important, and they don't get anything from it. I'm going to literally give all my money to them so that they can continue to do it. They feel like they're valued, so they continue to do it, and to make the severe weather coverage even more in-depth and informational than what it already is. Let's see here. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you for the very kind words. I love the way I'm running the channel here right now, too. Not planning on changing much at all about the way it runs. Ryan needs the Shield aircraft carrier to cover the weather. Yeah, what if we had like a team of like drones and helicopters out there chasing down tornadoes? Yeah, storm chasing is time consuming and a giant money dump. Car issues, food, gas, and you're telling me. You tell me. I don't know how some of them do it. I really don't. Hey, send us some snow here in northern Indiana. I'm trying my best. I'm trying. My morning's going good. My morning's going really good. I'm a little crunched for time today, so I didn't have time to edit the video like I normally do. But I'm here live so that we can all experience the forecast in a live way. And it's actually easier for me to do this, even if it takes, we've been live for about 50 minutes. Even if it takes 2 hours to do a live stream like this, that still saves me time. You guys don't understand how much goes into filming the normal videos, exporting that footage, transferring it over to the edit bay, editing it, exporting it, uploading. Like that's usually it takes at least 3 hours, sometimes even more than that. So I like doing the live streams every once in a while. I suspect drones and stuff would be eaten up in tornadoes. Yeah, I think you're right. It is a goal of mine, though, when next time I go storm chasing, is to literally fly a drone into a tornado. I think that would be incredible footage. As long as the tornado is like in the middle of a field and there's no, I don't want to add to the debris that's flying around in like a neighborhood or something. But if I'm in the middle of nowhere and there's, where most tornadoes happen, I'm flying a drone right into the tornado, man. And it's going to be some of the coolest footage ever. Would you ever be interested in hiring an editor to handle that process for you? That's a tough one. I know editors. I actually, some of my friends are editors that are available for hire. The problem is the way that you have to edit my videos is you have to have a little bit of knowledge about meteorology, because there are certain things that I zoom into. There are certain things that I say and then maybe repeat to kind of explain myself a little bit better. And you have to know what to cut out and what to include. And if you don't know what convective available potential energy is, or if you don't know the significance of 3,000 joules per kilogram CAPE, or if you don't know... You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know an editor that's also a meteorologist that would be able to edit the videos in the way that I do. It's possible that maybe one day I'll hire an editor and then work with them over time to have them learn how it works and what needs to happen. But as of right now, I'm fine editing it. It is a lot of time, but I'm fine. I also enjoy editing. This is like the perfect gig for me. I love, I like talking. I like broadcasting. I'm a huge, weather geek, meteorologist. I love talking, but I can't do it half the time. I'm a huge weather geek. All right. And then I love YouTube. I've been watching YouTube as my main source of entertainment since I was like 14 years old. I've always, when I was younger, I wanted to be a YouTuber. That's what I wanted to do. So like, this is perfect. This is awesome for me, man. Thank you so much, McGinn, for becoming a Slight Risk member. On TikTok, I can hear an echo, so I came here. Yeah, the sound quality on TikTok is not as good as it is here because I can't. Well, I probably could, but I'm not going to take the time to hook up a big microphone and work that into the audio input on there. The TikTok feed is just for people who want to hear a quick update on what's going on, but the goal is absolutely to have the vast majority of these people to come to YouTube. And I think that worked incredibly well during some of the severe weather coverage that we did. And, we reached 800,000 people on the last live stream, and there were 800,000 people that also tuned in on TikTok. So I believe that probably several 100,000 of them were the ones that came to the live stream here on YouTube. And I just think it's a really good gateway to get people to come here. And also, I like TikTok. I'm having a blast on there. I got recognized in the grocery store not too long ago, and it was a kid. He was like, "Hey, aren't you got that guy that does the weather on TikTok?" And I was kind of taken aback at first. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I am that guy." Let's see. ND Prepper, thank you so much for becoming a moderate risk member. That's huge. And Jacob Finch, thank you for becoming an official sponsor. That's the third official sponsor for today. Wow. Thank you so much, Jacob. Everybody say thank you to Jacob. If it wasn't for people like him, I could not do what I do. What is the severe weather risk for Houston? In Houston, Texas today, you do have a slight risk of severe weather. We've got a big line of severe thunderstorms. Actually, they're not severe yet, but strong thunderstorms that will likely become severe moving towards the Houston area. In fact, within the next couple of minutes, this little area of moisture that's kind of like advecting or convecting a bunch of storms together, it's probably going to start raining pretty soon in Houston if it's not already. Let's take a look at Houston. Yeah, you can see right there that we've got some low-lying clouds. It's going to start raining pretty soon. But what's happening here is we've got a bunch of warm Gulf air sliding up into this boundary here. And that's going to continue to, compound together and form a big line of storms that's going to head south around 2 p.m. today, I think, 1 to 2 p.m. You're going to get a big line of storms come through Houston, and we do have the chance for damaging wind. I think that's the biggest threat, and then maybe some hail, and then maybe, just maybe, a very small chance of some tornadoes coming through, not necessarily just in Houston, but everybody, everywhere in the slight risk there has a very, 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 very small chance of seeing a tornado today. Can you cover Michigan? I can. I really appreciate the support there. I can cover Michigan, but there's really no point in doing it because you're going to see some snow today if you're in northern Michigan. And then that's about it for at least until Christmas Eve. It's going to be cold and pretty uneventful up here in Michigan beyond that. Right now around Detroit, we have a mixture of precipitation that's going to eventually get out of there. And then up here, of course, in northern Michigan, once again, we have some snow, moderate snow, light snow. That is also going to get out of there. In the southwestern portion of Michigan, there might be a little bit of lake-enhanced or lake-effect snow as this storm moves out, but it's going to be brief. It's going to last not very long at all. Thank you so much for that, though. I really do appreciate it. Michael Statterfield, K4AFT. Thank you so much for becoming a slight risker there. Kilo 4 Alpha Foxtrot Tango. 7 threes. I live in Orange, Texas, and I'm curious when this weather will arrive and how severe it might be. Orange, Texas. Okay, so you're over there near Beaumont. I would like once again. I consider myself, moderately geographically inclined. I look at maps a lot, and I have been for a long time. But I don't know the intricacies of the smaller towns in some of these places, especially the farther away you get from the East Coast. So if you're in a small town and you're asking about it, for example, if I know that Orange isn't necessarily a little town, but I would just say around the Beaumont area. That will help me out a lot in actually telling you what's going on there. Or if you are in, for example, Brookshire, which is a suburb of Houston, just say the Houston area, because the thing is it's pretty much the same, all right? As long as you're talking about a place that's within 30 miles of where you are, it's pretty much going to be the same. But anyways, over there near Beaumont, it's pretty much the same situation as Houston. Oops, sorry. Pretty much the same situation as Houston. We've got a big line of severe or soon to be severe thunderstorms that's forming here. It's really gaining some strength right now, actually. And this is going to be racing to the east and to the southeast over the next little bit. And I would suspect around 3 o'clock, 2 to 3 o'clock in Beaumont and areas around there in southeastern Texas, you're going to start seeing some of these storms come through. The biggest risk today is going to be straight line damaging wind. Beyond that, though, we do have a slight chance for some hail and a very, 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 very small chance of some tornadoes. Can't rule them out. You can't rule them out. We have an outdoor surprise engagement tonight, so can you please update on North Dallas weather? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's pull up Texas on the weather models here. I'm pretty sure it's going to be uneventful over there, but just in case there's a little something going on that I'm not thinking about, we're going to watch the radar here. Give me just a second. When is the outdoor event? It's this evening, right? Tonight? Yeah, okay. So first of all, Dallas, you are not in the thunderstorm risk today. This green line here, that's the outside part of the thunderstorm risk, and they actually issued that before the storms moved through. So a lot of this cold front or this frontal boundary that's causing these storms is going to be moving south and east later today. And it is going to get a little bit cooler there in Dallas, but I don't think there's much more in the way of rain that's going to happen. All right, there's some moisture over here. If you have a radar, if you have the ability to keep up with the weather, watch this closely, because there's a small chance that the northern fringe of it there could come through Dallas in a couple of hours and cause some very light sprinkles. But I think for the most part, Dallas is totally fine, and it's just going to be a little dreary this evening, but not necessarily, certainly no severe weather is expected. Just maybe a little bit of rain, but for the most part, just kind of cloudy and cooler than usual. Thank you for that. How's Fort Worth looking, Kristen? Literally the same thing I just said for Dallas. Hopefully that works for you. Norman Henderson, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. Says, just found your stream, always going to support educational content. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Allison, you're awesome. Do you ever cover earthquakes? Not really. I suppose if there was a devastating earthquake and we needed to, watch, potentially relay information about what to do for the people who are there, as far as like how to get help and what's going on and stuff, maybe, but not generally. I'm not, that's definitely not my specialty. It's not my expertise by any means. But I do have a really large platform here and the ability to live stream even at 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning to around 5,000 people, which is absolutely insane to me. So anytime that I can relay some sort of vital information with the tools that I have, I will. But hopefully we don't have any earthquakes like that anytime soon. Ryan, will you go over northwestern Florida? Sure. Sure. Come over here to the weather models. And let's skip ahead. Now, northwestern Florida, if you're talking about the panhandle, that's what I would consider northwestern Florida. If you're talking about the panhandle, the further west you go, the better chance of you seeing rain today, especially around, between now and 1 p.m. There's going to be a stream of moisture that comes in from the Gulf of Mexico that convects some showers and thunderstorms. Nothing severe is expected there. And then as we go later on into the night, around 9 p.m., we still have that scattered shower and thunderstorm possibility, but it's scattered. It's not going to rain all day. It's just going to be off and on, off and on. And then finally, the big system that's causing the severe weather out west is going to move through in the early morning hours tomorrow, around 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. That is also going to bring you another quick burst of rain, maybe some thunder, and then some cooler temperatures behind that. And that's pretty much it. Absolutely nothing else to be worried about there. Thank you guys for sharing this stuff on Twitter, by the way. If you're just now tuning in, if you want to go to a big part of this show, especially during severe weather coverage, a huge part of this show is Twitter. Okay, if you want to follow me at Ryan Hall, y'all, on Twitter, you can send me pictures and videos and everything of what's going on in your hometown, and I'll share them here. And then additionally, you can also just get on there and retweet stuff like this to let other people know that I'm live. It's a very vital tool, and if you don't have a Twitter, it takes like 2 minutes to make one. And it's not nearly as I know some people are concerned about information, data leaks, and all that stuff. It's nothing like Facebook. It's actually, I like it. I like it a lot. Somebody on Twitter asked what video program I use. I'm using OBS. By the way, we have seen some rotation in some of these storms in Texas. So I am going to try to find a good radar to kind of hone in on these storms, just so we can keep an eye on them. I'm going to be here, I'm not going to be here all day. I can't do that today. Like I said, I'm on a little bit of a time crunch. I am going to be here for, at the most, the next hour. So just in case we do have any sort of severe weather that breaks out, we'll be able to watch it here on the Radar Omega system. Just want to watch out for potentially maybe seeing some rotation here and there. So as of right now, no severe thunderstorm warnings, no severe weather warnings. We're just keeping an eye on it. Bob Evans, thank you so much for the kind words and the very generous super chat. Yeah, Facebook's cool too. My Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, it's all Ryan Hall, y'all, if you want to follow me on those platforms. Ryan, do you think Texas and Louisiana will get another winter event like last year? Early forecast said yes. What are your thoughts? It's too early to tell, but I don't think so. I think that's definitely I think it'll be a while before we see something that significant again. I'm not saying that it's not going to get I'm not saying that it won't get cold. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that we won't get a big cold blast in Texas, but I don't think it'll be as significant or as severe as what we saw earlier this year. Guys, thank you for all the kind words. A lot of people thanking me and stuff. Thank you guys. Like it's seriously, it's half of you or what's getting the word out here. Will it snow in Baltimore? Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. I don't think we're looking at any snow in the near future in Baltimore. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people in Baltimore like the snow for some reason. We had a couple big storms last year that we were tracking, and people in Baltimore got heated when it didn't snow. Not last year, but earlier this year. Congrats on, oh wow, 224,000 subscribers now. Wow. Yeah, thank you for that. Once again, where were we when the stream started? By the way, I know a lot of people are talking about the subscribers and stuff. Yeah, we've gained 120, well, not 120, but 110,000 subscribers in the last 28 days. And I think the vast majority of those came within the last 14 days. So seriously, very, very much appreciated all the support. I can't even imagine how useful this is going to be in the future when, once again, when the inevitable next disaster happens. The bigger the platform here, the more people we can reach. Very, very thankful. I subbed when Ryan only had 50,000. Yeah, it wasn't very long ago. I love James Spann too. James Spann's obviously a very big inspiration for me. I watched. I don't even live in Alabama. I watched James Spann for a very long time. Still watch him. Love Weather Brains podcast. I love. Yeah, James Spann's awesome. Love him. Also live some of my favorite weather dudes out there. Let's give some shout outs to some TV weather dudes here. I love James Spann. Okay, I love James Spann. Also, Brad Panovich. He's good. He's very good. Who else? Trying to think. I also like Chris Bailey. Chris Bailey in Kentucky, and he works at WKYT in Kentucky. He's awesome. He's another big inspiration of mine. I always tuned into his weather blog as seriously, once again, since I was 12, I've been a fan of him. Those are probably my top three. I'm 40 miles east of Middlesboro, Kentucky. Do you foresee any flood threat? Not right now. Absolutely not. I don't think we're going to have any big precipitation problems there. 40 miles east of Middlesboro, Kentucky. Thank you, though, K7CSX. I like Pico's Hank. Yeah, I don't consider him a TV weather guy, though. I don't consider Reed Timmer a TV weather guy either. Now they all watch you. There are definitely a lot of the TV weather guys who are watching. I don't know if they're watching right now, but I get all kinds of comments and stuff from them on TikTok specifically, and like TV news producers are on there, like talking about. I don't know. You go over to TikTok, read it for yourself. You'll see. Let's see here, Brecklin. Thank you so much for the very generous super chat. Hey, Ryan, any chance we'll have a white Christmas in Seattle? There's a chance. There's certainly a chance. It's too early. It's absolutely too early for me to say for sure right now. But I promise you guys, as we get closer to Christmas, let's see here. We're currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 7 days away from Christmas. Once we get within the 5-day time frame, so probably Monday or Tuesday, potentially even Wednesday of next week, I'm going to have a in-depth, comprehensive Christmas forecast. By the way, we got our first severe thunderstorm warning, actually. The National Weather Service did issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Wilson County in Texas. So it is, obviously, I've been saying it all morning, but this line is slowly getting more severe here in Texas. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning out for Wilson County. Once that pops up here on the graphic system, I'll tell you the details of that. Actually, I can tell you that right now. Wind up to 50 miles an hour. Quarter-size hail is possible. Okay, that's south and east of San Antonio. I see it now. Down here. Ooh. That's a chunky storm, actually. Oh, and it has a little bit of what could eventually be a little bit of rotation. It's in the perfect spot for it. Put that down to 14 frames here. Put it back into motion. So there you go. You can see there's a little bit of what looks to me like maybe some rotation there, but certainly, absolutely, we don't think there's a tornado with this right now. But if you're in the Sutherland Spring area, okay, west of Stockdale, get ready for a very strong storm to come through with some hail, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and potentially a very small chance of a quick tornado forming with that storm right there. So keep that in mind, okay? And we're going to keep a very close eye on that. Remember, that's a severe thunderstorm warning for Wilson County in Texas. Certainly some hail in there. You can clearly see those are some tall clouds. And in a situation like this today, tall clouds usually mean hail, because we've got some very cold air aloft. Thank you, Grady. Thank you so much. Oh, that was my phone. I heard music somewhere, and I thought I was playing music somewhere, but everything is muted and paused, but it was coming from my phone for some reason. New sub here. Any snow for Denver in the future? Yeah, there's going to be snow in Denver in the future, absolutely. In the near future, more than likely not. Let me double check that. Yeah, in the near future, within the next couple of days, for example, no. Denver's going to be quite nice. However, stay with me, okay? Keep subscribe to the channel. Next time big storm's getting ready to come through the Colorado area, I will be the first one to let you know. I promise you. Ryan, what's that red line moving south on your radar map there? Ooh, that's a good question. So we're looking once again at a severe thunderstorm here north of Floresville, south and east of San Antonio in Texas. And you can see some odds happening on the velocity scan over here, right? You see that big red wall that's marching to the south? Once again, I know a lot of you guys already know this because you are experienced Ryan Hall, y'all stream watchers now. But on this side, we are looking at the velocity. And what this shows us is the wind speed and direction in the clouds. So here's the radar, all right? Relative to the radar, everything that's showing up in red is stuff that's going away from the radar, okay? So everything that's red, we can kind of assume, let me change my color here. We can kind of assume that it's going this way. And then everything that's green is going towards the radar, right? So there's some stuff here that's going towards the radar. Basically, what you're seeing there with that big wall of red is a big gust front. It's a big area of cool, rain-cooled air, and associated with that cold front that is racing down to the south. And that's what's actually causing our storms today. Okay, whenever that warm air down here that's going towards the radar meets that, we often get new big thunderstorms that are forming. So yeah, that's just a cold front essentially, or a cold pool of air that is advecting down to the south. And you can see that's happening through a lot of southeast Texas. And the more speed that gains, okay, the faster we're going to start seeing these storms move south and east towards Houston. I hope that answered your question there. Kyle, is the snow currently falling in West Michigan right now actually going to stick, or is there another heat wave coming? The snow falling in Michigan right now is going to be brief, short-lived, and is absolutely not going to be there for very long. Wouldn't say there's another heat wave coming, but it's certainly not going to be very cold for very long there in Michigan. It is going to get pretty cold tonight, but as soon as tomorrow, it's going to start getting back to normal or above normal. And the snow that's falling right now it's not very intense, and it's not expected to get much more intense than what it is before it stops. Let's see here. Snow currently. Oh, I already read that. Dixie says, keep up the excellent work. Thank you, man. I plan on it. I plan on doing this for as long as I can. As long as you guys can stand hearing my voice and continue to tune in and share the streams and like them. By the way, if you haven't liked this video yet, slap a thumbs up on it. It helps out more than you could possibly know. But as long as you guys keep doing that, I'm here. This is like a dream job for me. I love it. Yes, Ryan Hall was a TV weather guy before for a very, very short period of time. I worked under the chief meteorologist, and I studied with the chief meteorologist at my local CBS affiliate while I was taking meteorology classes at Mississippi State University. And I just really quickly found out that I don't like that, man. They made me shave my beard. They made me wear makeup. And even though the station was in a very southern area, they didn't make me feel bad. Like, these were nice people. I loved everybody I worked with there, but it was like a big deal to try to fix my accent. We need to talk more proper. And I just don't care about any of that. I don't care about, if I'm trying to tell you a tornado's coming, man, you don't care if I'm not wearing makeup or if my beard's a little scraggly or if I say, Houston. You don't care how I say it. And also, being the TV weather guy, there's just a lot of work that you got to do that has nothing to do with the weather. So, I only did that for a short period of time because I didn't like it. As much as I love weather, I didn't love that. So yeah, that's why I don't do that anymore. A lot of people are, in the comments of my videos, especially some of them that are going viral, and they're like, man, it sucks that we're going to lose him to like the Weather Channel or Fox News or CNN or something when they discover him and they offer him a bunch of money to go work for him. Guys, there's no money. There's no money in the world that would make me go work for some TV network, because I wouldn't be as good at that as I am at this. Like, there's no point in it. I'm here. This is what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll make my own website one day. I don't know. Maybe the future isn't always going to be YouTube specifically, but I'm on the internet as a solo individual. That's it. That's what we're doing. That's what we're sticking with. Oh yeah, and I tried to bring my gallon of water in front of the green screen when I was doing the weather, and they was like, "Man, you can't do that." And I was like, "Why not?" That was the real deal breaker. Is the snow in Green Bay going to stick? You might see a little bit of snow sticking there in Green Bay, but once again, it's not going to stick around for very long. Ryan, any any storms in Canton or snow? Please tell me. My mom might go into labor today or tomorrow. Buddy, where's Canton? I will try my best to tell you everything I know about the weather in Canton, but there are a lot of Cantons throughout the United States. What state are you in? Thank you, Christy, for becoming a member. Any snow in Charlotte? Not in the near future. Certainly not in the near future. But I definitely don't think we can't roll out a nice East Coast storm that'll affect the Carolinas. Certainly in February or March. What software do you use for streaming, Nick? I use OBS. And I have an incredible amount of computers hooked up to OBS. One day I'll make a walkthrough. I'll make like a tour of this studio here. But I have 3 computers, right? I have the main PC in front of me here. This is where OBS is ran, and it's where I look at my main radar screen and the chat and Twitter and all of that. It's also, I don't know if you can see down here, I've got a big stream deck with a lot of buttons. This is what controls the stream. This computer over here has backup radars. Okay, so if I need to pull up another instance of Radar Scope, if I already have one open, I have it over here. That's tied into this PC via a 4K cam link stream thing. An Elgato capture card. Yeah, that's what it is. That's tied into this PC from there, so I can pull up those images on the stream. And then behind me here, let me toggle this again. Behind me, there is another computer. This is a Mac. And this is where I actually have all of our cameras pulled up. So I have YouTube pulled up with all kinds of live cameras. This is where I keep Storm Chaser Vince Welty up at. And this is where I pull that information up. That computer is also tied into the main PC with another capture card. And that's how I get everything on one computer or one screen here for the stream. It is a very complicated setup, and it took a while to get it to work right, but it works. Thank you, Nick. Hopefully we can work together. Hopefully we can get you live streaming and being a part of the team here in a future event. Would love to have you aboard. Prim and Proper, thank you for that. Canton, Georgia, absolutely no snow in Canton, Georgia anytime soon. Additionally, it might rain a little bit over the next couple of days, but no severe weather is expected. I think you're good. Dwight, Ryan, thank you for your videos. Love watching them. For the future, can you focus in on the Tampa area and Florida in general? Dwight, yes. What I do is I focus on anywhere where the weather is happening, right? And I know that it kind of turns some people off because, if the weather isn't very interesting where you are, I kind of don't talk about you very much. But I can't help it. That's what I have to do. Like I'm trying to once again be the weatherman for the whole U.S. here, and if I spend too much time talking about how it's going to be nice and sunny in Tampa, and don't spend enough time talking about the slight risk of severe weather in Houston because of that, I just feel like that's not a good use of my platform here. So the next time something significant is going to be happening in Tampa, I promise this is the place that you're going to want to be. You're going to want to watch it. You're going to want to be here because I'm going super in depth on Tampa, but not like if you just need to know the next 3 days what the high temperature is going to be. There's a million resources that you've got for that. I wish that I could be the personal weatherman for every city and every area and every corner of the U.S., but I just can't. So I have to focus on the big events. By the way, we got a couple more severe thunderstorm warnings. If you're in Bandera, Medina counties, and Grimes, Montgomery, and Walker counties in Texas, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's check out this radar. Things are really starting to crank up here in southeastern Texas with this big line of storms that's moving through Huntsville right now. It's sliding down the I-45 corridor pretty quickly. In fact, Houston, look out to your west. Look out to your west. There's a big line of storms coming, okay? If you're in one of these buildings watching the stream right now in Houston, look to your west. There's a big line of storms coming. You probably can't see anything yet, but eventually you'll see it starting to get darker as this fog is really, really intense right now. You can't see anything, actually, if you're in the top of one of those buildings. But eventually a big line of storms is going to be moving in. I originally said around 1 or 2 p.m., but it looks to me like this could be going a little bit faster than what we originally thought. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that possibly around 1:30, as early as 1:30 there in Houston. So just keep an eye on the radar. These are packing a punch with 60-mile-an-hour winds. This storm up here near New Waverly, getting ready to go across Interstate 45, 60-mile-an-hour winds, 3/4-inch hail. So, that's definitely that's enough to cause some damage to trees and power lines and maybe even dent up a car a little bit. If you live out here to the south and east of this line, go ahead and put your car in the garage or the carport or something. Additionally, this storm back here has actually got some very big hail with it, okay? 1.25 inch, 1.25-inch hail and very strong winds, possibly over 50 miles an hour there, coming through into the Nixon, Smiley, and Gonzales area. That's south and east of San Antonio and south of I-10. Okay, that is one of the more significant severe thunderstorms that's going on right now. Then we got a little bit of a straggler back here south and west of I-10 near Hondo, okay, north and west of Hondo, with once again some pretty large hail and some 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts coming through. So, like I said earlier, this is always what we expected to happen. This line's going to progressively get stronger as it goes off to the south and east, and particularly this storm right here is the one I'm watching for the very small chance of maybe a tornado forming on this, but I still don't see anything too convincing there. We're going to keep an eye on it, though, okay? Just if you're in, Union, Stockdale, Floresville, any of these places, especially off to the north and east towards Leesville and Wrightsboro, and Schooland, all these places, please just be weather aware. You got a big storm coming. The biggest threat here is certainly hail, all right? Tornadoes, probably not, but definitely some big hail in this storm. So make sure you're doing everything you can to protect your property out there south and east of San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, it's a good thing when I don't talk about your area. It's a good thing. Corbin. Let's see here. What did you say? Corbin said, "Trucker here. I seen your video on TikTok, and I seen snow. I seen a snow tornado in Minnesota. Wait, what? I seen your video on TikTok. Seen snow tornado in Minnesota. I took her advice and stopped. That tornado went right through my route, and I would have been there around the time." Oh, okay, Corbin. Well, thank you for letting me know that. I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad the warning was gotten out to you in time. I know that truckers, there are a lot of truckers who subscribe to this channel, and I got a lot of messages and stuff on how it helps. So I appreciate you guys. I know what you guys go through, and at any time, feel free to tune in and ask questions and stuff, and if I see your question, I will try my best to answer it. Roshan, thank you for becoming a member. Jack, thank you so much for the super chat. Used to watch your old vlogs, man, all the way till now. Do you have your storm chasing truck back? Yeah, the storm chasing truck is back in action. It is completely put back together. And we're ready to rock next spring. Anything coming for Fort Worth, Texas? Nope. Maybe some sprinkles. It's going to get a little cold and dreary, but Fort Worth, you're good. You're good. You are fine. Tim Sullivan says, congrats on all the success recently. No problem, man. No problem. It's really no problem at all for me to sit here and do this all day. And then the success that comes from it is all on you. Like that's what I was trying to say. It's all like you guys sharing and liking and stuff. Like seriously, I would be here right now talking to no one about the weather if it wasn't for you guys, the work that you do with the shares and the likes and all that stuff. So, thank you is what I meant to say. What about the Nashville area? Just some rain. In the near future. It's going to get rainy. You might hear a clap of thunder or two, but really nothing insane going on in Nashville anytime soon. By the way, if anybody's just now tuning in, we do have some severe weather down here in Texas, okay? If you're in Gonzales, Wilson, Bandera, Medina, Grimes, Montgomery, Walker, or Wilson counties in Texas, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, we're going to continue to see storms pop up all day in southeastern Texas and southwest Louisiana. And additionally, we also are going to see some storms pop up outside of those areas too. So, everywhere in the dark green also needs to keep an eye on the potential for some storms today. We don't expect necessarily widespread severe weather, for example, over here in southern Mississippi, Alabama, and in the panhandle of Florida. However, we do think that some of these storms coming up from the Gulf of Mexico might pack a punch with a little bit of hail, maybe some wind, and certainly a lot of heavy rain. The big deal over here, the big severe weather threat that we have right now is moving into the Houston area as we speak, and this is kind of where I'm going to be focusing on. Anything for the Carolinas anytime? Not anything significant. Pretty normal. Pretty normal stuff going on in the Carolinas. Here's an update on the snow up in the Northeast. We got anybody watching in Albany? Is it snowing or is it sleeting or is it raining there? What's going on in Albany? You're right on that line. We got some heavy snow getting ready to work into the Dolgeville area and the Gloversville area of upstate New York. Okay, let's see here. It's getting ready to move into Queensbury, Wilton, Saratoga Springs. That right there is a heavy band of snow. And once again, it's going to fall fast. It's going to fall hard, and it's going to pile up quick as it comes in. It still looks like it's all rain there in Connecticut. All rain, of course, down there in New York, in New York City, into Long Island. Rhode Island, you're all rain. Southeastern portions of Massachusetts, you're all rain. However, right around Boston, there's probably going to be a little bit of snow, and it's going to go back and forth between rain and snow all day long. If you're just now tuning in and you're like, man, I wish you would talk more in depth about all this. Well, at the beginning of this video or at the beginning of this live stream, I spent a good 30 minutes talking about this snowstorm in particular And when this live stream ends, more than likely in the next 30 minutes or so, you'll be able to go back and watch that, okay? Just like a normal video of mine. And I encourage you to do that. Ryan, do you think we'll see a forecast of 1,000 inches of snow again this winter? I don't know. That was fun, though. If you guys weren't here, which the vast majority of you weren't here, last winter in, I think, what was it, January, February, something like that, we were looking at the forecast models, and there was a glitch, and it showed like 1,000 to 5,000 inches of snow falling all across the United States. And I made a big joke about it. That was fun. With the big tornadic event that took place last week, do you think this upcoming tornado season will be a rough one? I think that every tornado season is rough for whoever gets affected by it. I have no predictions right now as to whether or not the upcoming, severe weather season is going to be any worse or any better or any more wild or more tame than it usually is. However, I do believe we are going to see tornadoes next year. Probably a lot of significant ones, and I will be here for that. I will be here live on YouTube. The way it's going to work next year, and I'm still thinking about this because, like I've told you guys before, it's in my blood. I need to go out there and storm chase myself at least a little bit. I know that I'm needed here more, but kind of, I guess you could call it as my vacation for about a month. In either April or May, I am going to go take the Storm Seeker out west, somewhere in park it somewhere in Oklahoma or Kansas, and I am going to storm chase while I'm out there. And more than likely, I'll still do videos like this. I'll do live updates, live briefings and stuff, but the edited videos like I normally post, those will not be happening probably for an entire month in either April or May. Because once again, I have the Storm Seeker. I have literally the most capable storm chasing vehicle on Earth, in my opinion, and I need to use it. I got to use it. You know what I mean? So I am going to storm chase a little bit this year. But for example, in March, okay, a lot of our big severe weather outbreaks in the Deep South happen in March or early April. In Alabama, for example, in Mississippi, and those places, I'm never chasing those events. Okay, I only like chasing in the plains whenever the tornadoes are visible and they're not like hitting big towns and small communities and stuff. All those big severe weather outbreaks that we have in the Deep South, if that's in Louisiana, in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, that area, even though I'm closer, I live closer to those places, I will always be right here live covering those because I think there's a lot of people down there who would depend on that. And I know you guys, some of you guys have James Spann, and that's great, but some people don't. Okay, so I am... That's my pledge to you. I'm never going to go storm chasing in that region. My main thing is the plains of Kansas, northern Texas, the Oklahoma over there on the western side. I'd love to go out there and get some nice footage of a nice nadir, not hurting anybody. By the way, the Storm Prediction Center did just update their outlook a little bit, and they increased the odds of severe weather just a little bit off to the north and east. Once again, we're not expecting widespread severe weather over here in the dark green, but if you are in Georgia, from Enterprise, Alabama, all the way up through Macon, maybe even into southwestern portions of South Carolina and near Columbia, we do have a very small chance for some of these storms to produce some lightning, some heavy rain, and maybe some gusty winds and some small hail. Okay, so that's not a big deal. This is nothing that you've seen this often. It's not very rare for you to be under the dark green here, but that is what we're talking about now. Okay, so what I talked about this earlier. This big stream of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico is going to cause some convection over here. So just make sure you're ready for that. It might come a downpour at some point today over there. This line looks nasty. This storm is getting ready to come through Houston. Let me see here. Where's my Houston cam? Oh boy, it's getting dark out there in Houston, and I don't know actually if I'll be able to continue to stay live until this goes through Houston, but we're gonna watch this until as it gets closer. But if you're in Houston, once again, there's not a big tornado coming towards you or anything, but there's certainly a very strong line of severe thunderstorms coming. Let me pull that up and put that above my head. That way, we can kind of keep an eye on Houston here. You see, this is the only thing that maybe I'll change one day about the channel. Is I'll have a production assistant that does this part. Comes over here and deals with the cameras and stuff. But other than that, solo weather channel. Once again, if you are just now tuning in, Harris County, Montgomery County, Gonzales, Wilson, Bandera, Medina, and all Wilson County, I already said that once, but all these counties are under a severe thunderstorm warning in Texas. We got a big, nasty line of thunderstorms that are forming here in southeastern Texas with straight line damaging winds and even some hail, okay? These storms down here are producing big hail, inch and a quarter hail, moving into the Gonzales area, okay, north of Nixon and Smiley. If you know anybody down there, let's go ahead and share this on Facebook. Let's send it in a text message to them, all right? Let's say, yo, you got your car covered? You might want to do that because big storms coming with some big hail. Also, very large hail. Wow, very large hail with this storm moving into the Bandera area. Okay, we got to zoom in on that. I'm sorry. We love watching the snow, but we're going to have to take radar scope down here, unfortunately, because I got to inspect that one deeply. Why isn't it working? Do super res reflectivity here. We're going to keep velocity here, correlation coefficient, and then we'll also do what else we got? Digitally integrated, vertically integrated liquid. Okay. So here's this storm. Once again, wow. You see that? Without getting too technical with you, that's a lot of hail. That's what that is. Wow. I think this is a pretty small rural area of Texas. But I hope we don't have anybody down there with a car outside or something, because that is going to get beaten up. Also, we do have a mesocyclone. We have some rotation here, so we got to watch that one, unfortunately, for the potential for some naders, for some tornadic activity. Also, wow, very big hail. You can tell, too, because on the correlation coefficient, usually when we're only talking about tornadoes, we specifically look at this to kind of see if there's debris in the air. And, you know, that this kind of looks like a TDS, a debris signature, but I don't think necessarily that's what it is. I think the hailstones are so big that, you know, they could be as big as, you know, debris would be in the air. So, wow. Anybody downstream from that has got to watch out. Okay, that is unfortunately moving. You know, if this holds together, that is moving towards the northwestern side of San Antonio. So let's keep looking at that. Once again, this storm here, considerable damage is possible from this storm, just from the hail alone. And that's going to be moving towards I-10 there between Beaurain I think, and San Antonio. So watch out for that. And look at this. Once again, this is outside of the risk area. Okay, you got your yellow down here. This is the green. Right next to it, we have probably the strongest storm right now outside of the risk area. This is why I always say don't pay too much attention to the colors and whether or not you're on a slight risk and all that, because even just outside of there, we can have some crazy stuff happen. Once again, a considerable damage marker on this storm moving through Texas. And I still see rotation here. Once again, this is a broad mesocyclone on the surface of the storm. Could put down an 8 or 2. It could put down an actual tornado. South and west of Bandera. Crazy stuff. We're going to keep an eye on Houston with this line of storms that's coming in right now. And of course, we still have our camera up of Houston. You can see it's getting very dark, very ominous. If we know anybody in Houston, let's go ahead and share this stream with them too. Because before I sign off, I do have a time constraint today. Before I sign off, I am going to do a complete run through of what's going to happen over the next hour or so with these storms. This one right here is just crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Seriously, if you're in Bandera Falls, Bandera, any of these places south of Medina, Lake Hills, please, if you got anything that you don't want to get damaged by baseballs falling from the sky, go get it in. Go get it in. Will you be coming back on later? No, I won't be coming back on later for another live stream. This is it for today. Normally, I wouldn't live stream at all on a day like today. I try to only live stream like the public emergency live weather coverage whenever we have a storm prediction center risk that is above an enhanced. Because I want to conserve that for really big events, because I don't want it, as significant as it is for the people of Bandera, for example, as significant as it is for them to getting ready to see a lot of big hail, I don't want to end up on the trending page of YouTube with the title, Big Severe Weather Outbreak, tune in now, for the vast majority of everybody to not think that it's a big deal, and then the next time whenever we have a widespread tornado outbreak or something, they ignore it. Does that make sense? I only want to do the live emergency severe weather coverage when a lot of people are going to be impacted by very severe storms. But I'm always on Twitter. I'm always on TikTok. I'm always on Instagram giving little updates on stuff like this. You know what I mean? Broad rotation west of Cleveland and northeast of Conroe as well. Yeah, there's a lot of little spinny areas on this storm for sure. Like, look at this. Brookshire, north and west of Brookshire, there's a little bit of rotation. South of Mongolia, up here near Conroe, once again. Conroe, how do you say that? Oh, yeah, look at that. That right there. I'm honestly surprised that some of these don't have a preemptive tornado warning coming out for them. Oh, you guys don't see that because I didn't have the radar pulled up. Production assistant, somebody come help me. Yeah, this is getting that's a little gnarly. That's a little gnarly. Once again, if I was at the desk today, if I was at the National Weather Service, I would wait one more frame, and if there's any more rotation at all in that, I would probably issue a tornado warning. Not necessarily because we know that there's a tornado there or that we even think that there's one, but just because there's certainly a chance that we could see one at any time. If you're in Bear Creek, or Oak Grove or Magnolia or anywhere to the east of that there near North Cleveland, you're not under a severe thunderstorm warning. You're not under a tornado warning. There's no reason to panic, but just keep an eye on the weather. There's some broad rotation on the surface of this storm to your west. And at the very least, you're going to get some very gusty winds over in the next little bit. Conroe, gotcha. Are all of the National Weather Service watches and warnings automated, or is there somebody watching the radar at all times? Oh, there's a team of people at your local National Weather Service. There are people that do exactly what I'm doing right now, except they're not live on YouTube. They are literally watching the radar like a hawk. And they draw out the tornado warnings themselves. These are experienced meteorologists. There's no algorithm. There's no automation there. It's the real deal. That's why I always say that the National Weather Service is if I'm not talking about your area, always consult with the National Weather Service, because they are on top of it, man. And the Storm Prediction Center and all that stuff. That's where a lot of the information that I use comes from. So yeah, they are on top of it. And sometimes people give them a hard time because they'll watch my stream and they'll see me talk about an area of rotation and say, hey man, I would probably issue a tornado warning. If you're in Magnolia or Liberty Hill, I would probably start paying attention to this storm. And then 5 minutes later, the National Weather Service does issue a tornado warning, and they're like, well, Ryan Hall, man, he's way better than the National Weather Service, and I appreciate the compliments. And I do understand what you're saying about the medium of communication here is a lot more effective. But you have to understand that if you work at the National Weather Service and you issue too many tornado warnings that don't actually have tornadoes in them, you also become the boy who cried wolf, and people will stop listening to the National Weather Service. So it's in their best interest to wait a little bit and to only issue tornado warnings when they are very confident that there might be one there. Sometimes that doesn't work out in their favor. Sometimes they're a little late. But most of the time, that is definitely the best thing that they can do. However, I do think that we have a special thing going on here on YouTube where I can be like, hey, there's no consequences for me, to say, hey, there might be a tornado here. So why don't you go, if you're in Bear Creek, why don't you just go ahead and prepare just in case? You know what I mean? Because I'm not actually issuing a government-issued tornado warning. I'm just giving you a heads up. Is it Magnolia? Okay, it is Magnolia. The text on the screen here on this app specifically is really small. I need to work on the graphics on the back end here before the next stream. It's Magnolia. My bad. There we go. Maybe the National Weather Service is watching this channel, because the National Weather Service did just issue a tornado warning for Montgomery County and San Jacinto County in Texas until 11:15 p.m. CST. So that is going to be up here near Conroe. Once again, the storm that we were looking at on Radar Omega there, a tornado warning was just issued there. So once again, we have 4,500 people still hanging out here right now, and I am going to stay on the air at least for another 15, 20 minutes. So this warning only goes out for about that long. So if we can get some people in this general area on here, let's go ahead and share this on social media. Let's go ahead and put it out there so that everybody knows about what's going on, okay? The more people that share, the more likely it is that we're going to get in front of some of these people who need to know about this information, okay? A tornado may be in progress here south and west of Bear Creek near Oak Grove, moving up towards the Magnolia area, okay? This is south of Liberty Hill, and there's a pretty well-pronounced hook here. Okay, so you have the inflow coming into the storm. We have the rear flanking downdraft coming back on the southwestern side of the storm, and a very prominent area of rotation now that is tightening up. Okay, south of Bear Creek, there could be a potential tornado here. So let's all get in our safe spot. If we're in Bear Creek, Oak Grove, Magnolia, Liberty Hill, or anywhere south of that. Even if you're on the northern side of North Cleveland, it's a pretty populated area down here. Let's go ahead and get into our safe spots right now, okay? Because that you didn't expect to see that, with this much rotation here. Let's also bring this radar over here as well. Let's get all of our tools on this. Wow. Holy smokes. And we even have a little bit of a correlation coefficient drop. So I wouldn't doubt if we do have a tornado on the ground right now, guys. Wow. Hopefully some people were watching when I gave that extremely early warning. How long ago was it when we first started talking about that? Man, that's crazy. Okay. Yeah, we might have a tornado in progress right now. South of Bear Creek, once again, moving northeast. I would go ahead and start looking forward to this maybe approaching the Shepherd area downstream south of Goodrich. This is in Texas. Once again, this is Montgomery County and San Jacinto County there in Texas. I know I'm saying that wrong, and I know a lot of you guys are trying to help me in the chat, but just give up. All right, I'm saying it wrong, and that's just part of it. You know what I'm talking about. This is north and west of Cleveland, specifically North Cleveland, and yeah, we could have a tornado here, so we got to get everybody in our safe spots right now. We got almost 5,000 people watching. Let's share this on social media. Hit the like button here on YouTube to get that algorithm rolling, and we'll try to get this information out to as many people as possible before I do have to go. Unfortunately, I didn't plan for a live severe weather coverage today, so I can't be here all day. But while I am here, I'm going to do everything I can to be as useful as possible. No. Jacinto, right? San Jacinto. Montgomery and San Jacinto counties there under a tornado warning. This tornado is currently passing literally just to the south of Oak Grove. This is going to be going across the Highway 945 area there south of Magnolia, and eventually maybe even south of Liberty Hill. Hopefully, this is a kind of situation where we only see a brief, spin up, a brief area of circulation. And then it's not a long track tornado. But I do believe that if there isn't one right now, then we definitely saw a very brief tornado just moments ago south of Cold Spring here. So this is the kind of thing that's also going to continue to happen as we go later on into the day, okay? I know we got a lot of people tuning in now, and as the radar updates, I'm going to continue to update you on the situation there. But look, we got a large area of storms approaching San Antonio, all across the I-10 corridor into Houston, and then, of course, later today, this will also make it into southeastern Texas and southwestern portions of Louisiana. Guys, severe weather is possible today. This is not going to be a widespread tornado outbreak like we've been seeing. Okay, this is not going to be a Kentucky situation or anything like that. But severe weather, this big, nasty line of storms is going to come through and cause a ruckus. It's going to cause a mess. And intermittently throughout the day, because we have so much of this moisture and flow coming from the Gulf of Mexico, just slamming into this boundary that's coming down like this. I mean, put two and two together. Whoop, you get spinning. You know, every once in a while, you get some spinning going on. So there will be isolated tornadoes, a small chance of some tornadoes coming through the area later today. So please be weather aware as we go later on into this evening. Currently, we only have one tornado warning, and that is a radar-indicated tornado there south of Cold Spring, north and west of Conroe in Texas, and also north of Cleveland. Still a very decent area of rotation there. It looks a little bit more broad than what it did just moments ago, so that's a good sign. But still, I would watch out. I would be very weather aware in Shepherd and Cleveland and south of Cold Spring there here in Texas, because that does look very significant. We are watching Houston as well. It's 10:58 a.m. in Houston. It's supposed to not be this dark. It is not supposed to be that dark in Houston, and the reason it is because we have
A new tornado warning has been issued.
a line of storms approaching from the west. That tornado siren that just went off is a false alarm, but I'm going to use this opportunity just to update you that a tornado warning is in progress right now for Montgomery County and San Jacinto County in Texas until 11:15 a.m. CST. There's a population of 3,000 people in the path of this storm. It's radar indicated, and you can also see some penny-sized hail. Some penny-sized hail associated with that. Now, I do have the graphical information about this tornado warning shared on my Twitter. If you want to go follow me on Twitter, at Ryan Hall, y'all, you can also retweet that to get this vital information out to as many people as possible. Yeah, so every update, the hook looks a little bit less impressive, but there's still a very broad area of rotation here, so I don't want to let our guard down just yet. If you're in Shepherd, still prepare for a potential tornado or a tornadic storm to come through within the next little bit. And yeah, there's quite a bit of sketchy looking areas all up and down the radar here. So once again, I don't think this will be our only tornado warning today. I think that we will see more. But I'm hoping that like this one, if we do see tornadoes today, obviously we never want to see tornadoes in populated areas. But if we do see them today, hopefully they all act like this one and kind of it's a broad area of circulation and only briefly can present themselves as more intense rotation. This one's not necessarily given up just yet. We do got an update now, and I still see a broad area of rotation here south of Cold Spring. So still, this is coming right for Shepherd. So if you're in Shepherd, please take this seriously and listen up. If there's a warning issued from the National Weather Service, take it seriously, because we do have some broad rotation and a potential tornado south of Cold Spring heading right towards you. Wow. Right at the end of the live stream, too, right when I have to go. I wish I could be here all day, but I do have prior responsibilities that I do have to take care of. Thank you so much for becoming a Slight Risk member. Adam says, thank you. The local stations are not cutting in. Really? Are local stations not cutting in Southeast Texas? I feel like that's something you do when there's a tornado warning, right? Lord goodness, you'd hope so. Thank you, Scar the Hun. I really appreciate it. Is the thunder noise on your stream? I don't think so. I don't think I got any thunder noises coming through. I don't know. I don't think so. And thank you guys for becoming members. They are cutting in. Okay, that's what I figured. I figured the local stations down here would cut in. I think most of them do. In a tornado warning situation. But that's okay. That's okay. Well, you guys can stick with me for as long as you want. And then when I have to go, inevitably, you still got people on your side. You still got people that got your back out there in Southeast Texas. Now, south of Cold Spring, once again, if anybody's just now tuning in, maybe somebody sent you this in a text message and you're freaking out. There is a tornado warning. If you're in Liberty Hill, Magnolia, or anywhere to the south of Liberty Hill and north of North Cleveland, there is a tornado warning, and we just saw a very interesting area of rotation come through south of Bear Creek and Oak Grove that I believe likely dropped a tornado for a brief period of time, and now it's moving off to the north and east, and I think that the rotation is for the most part dissipated quite a bit. But we still need to take it seriously because storms like this can cycle and they can drop new areas of rotation over and over again. So we're going to keep watching this storm, and I'm sure the people at the National Weather Service, everybody else is also watching this, so they will issue new warnings if that's what's needed as we go forward. And yeah, you're right. This is a very nasty, nasty looking line of storms out here. We've got a lot of just convection bubbling up down here around Houston. There's so much moisture here. When this line of storms does eventually get to you there, it is going to be pretty intense with the rainfall, the hail, and of course the straight line damaging winds that are going to be possible there. As of right now, there is no severe thunderstorm warning for Houston, but keep an eye on the National Weather Service. If they issue one, you can probably expect some hail and some straight line damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. It's crazy how even a slight risk day sometimes can kind of pop off out of nowhere. I also want to update you guys just in case if we've got anybody tuning in over here to the west, because I know I kind of made a big deal out of this earlier too. If we've got anybody over here near San Antonio on the northwest side, especially near Pipe Creek, Bandera, Lake Hills, even all the way up into the Fair Oaks Ranch area, there's a pretty big storm over here too. It's not necessarily tornadic right now, but it's dropping huge hail. Like we're talking about considerable damage just from the hail here on this storm that's approaching the northwestern side of San Antonio. So this is a severe thunderstorm, no tornado right now, not even a lot of wind necessarily, but the hail alone is going to cause significant damage as it approaches some of these more populated areas. So if you know anybody over here or if you live here yourself, be prepared for that. It's coming. It's coming. Don't say you wasn't warned. Oops. And of course, we still have our tornado warning over here for Montgomery and San Jacinto counties in Texas. Gosh. Man, there's all kinds of little pockets of rotation here. Man. Yeah, everybody, not only if you're under a tornado warning today, but also if you are in Harris, Liberty, Montgomery counties, if you're in any of these counties, also pay attention, okay? If you're in Cleveland, Splendora, Roman Forest, anywhere over here south and east of Conroe, this area, this line of straight line damaging winds that's coming through will likely spin up a couple more tornadoes if it continues to, look that intense. Okay. I don't think that we're going to see big tornadoes, big straight line, or big violent long track tornadoes, but these, that we call them multi-quasi-linear convective system spin up tornadoes. Those are definitely going to be possible as we go forward. So everybody along the I-69 corridor between Shepherd and Splendora needs to be watching this line of storms very closely and paying attention to the National Weather Service, because I think some more nadir warnings are going to come out here. Wow, that's crazy, man. I'm going to try to stick with you guys as long as I can, I promise. Man, there's just so many places that look suspicious. The good news is there's not any like very tight couplets right now. So I don't know if we have a tornado in progress. There's just a lot of places it looks like there could be one anytime. Big Big line of storms. Heading right for Houston. Once again, it's 11:08 a.m. in Houston. It should not be this dark outside. Ugh. Get ready for some hail, some damaging winds. Nothing crazy, more than likely, okay? But certainly, I do believe that this line of storms will eventually be a severe thunderstorm warned as it comes through. Thank you guys for sending me stuff on Twitter. Really appreciate that. Okay, so they did allow that tornado warning to expire, okay? So let's come back over here to the radar for a final look here. They did allow the tornado warning to expire, but once again, I would not be surprised if they don't issue some more tornado warnings later this morning and as we go into the noon and the afternoon time frame, because there's all kinds of little spinny areas over here that are approaching the area between Shepherd and Splendora. That includes Cleveland. So please, everybody be weather aware out here today. Look at that. You know what I mean? Like, there's just all kinds of little areas where we could see a tornado, and it doesn't matter, okay? So, like, there's a lot of straight line damaging winds in here, too. So, just keep an eye on it. Even if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now, let's go ahead and if you have the ability to, let's go ahead and prepare for a potential tornado, because you can't rule them out in situations like this. You can't rule them out. And then let's get a broad view, one last broad view here of what's going on. If you're in the yellow, if you are in this big yellow circle right here, or inside of the red circle that I've made, be extra weather aware today, because we've got a line of storms approaching the southeast towards the Gulf of Mexico that are already packing a punch. It's noon, you know, it's around 11 a.m. out here in the central time. And we've already had a tornado warning. We've already had multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. In fact, we've had some considerable, potentially close to baseball size hail out west. So we got to watch out. We got to watch out for all of these storms as they approach the greater Houston area. Sorry, along I-10 through Beaumont, and also an extreme southwestern Louisiana. That's going to make it down there later this afternoon as well. So unfortunately, I cannot be here all day with you guys. I got to go do dad stuff, okay? And just stick with your National Weather Service. Make sure you have some way of getting weather warnings. Go ahead and put a plan in place right now to where when that weather warning is issued, whether it's a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, you know it exactly. To the putting the granola bars in the snack case, because we might be hanging out in the closet or the bathroom for a little while. Like, have all that planned out. That way you are not scared, but in fact you are prepared for a potential bad situation with the weather. Okay, so here we go, guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody for coming in, for sharing the stream, for doing all the things that you do that make me the official weatherman of the internet now. Okay. If it wasn't for you, I couldn't do it. All right, and I promise you, I will be back very soon. I'll have a video very soon for you on the potential upcoming storms that are coming in the future. And if you want more quick updates from me, if we get more tornado warnings later today, if we get any serious, kind of situations unfolding later today, Twitter is the #1 place you can go, at Ryan Hall, y'all. But also Instagram, and then TikTok, and Facebook. Go hit them all up. I don't live stream there, but I do post little updates throughout the day. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Doll Grant, for the super chat. Stay safe out there today. Thank you to all the new members. Thank you to Dodge Gaskill for being today's top supporter, and Amy Davis for being our all-time top supporter. And thank you. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively say thank you for 200 125,000 subscribers. Wow. Also, thank you to our moderators who always show up. They always show up, even though I didn't even tell them I was going to go live today. They're like, what? I didn't know I needed to go moderate a chat today. What's up with that? Thank you guys. Half-Life, Brandy, Tyler, all of you. Rich. Thank you guys for always being there, for showing up, even when you don't have to. Thank you, Soups. All right, I got to go. Be weather aware out there in Texas today, in Louisiana. Bye.